November the 28th, according to Flip, which I am so very thankful for him to be a part of this process because got to have a calendar in this world, or I do at least. I hope you all are. Did you get out this morning? Did you run out into the cold? It's like right now it's 30 and sunny, but 30 is still 30 regardless of sunny. So, but if you are out, I hope you stayed warm, and I hope you've enjoyed the early morning experiences. I've heard of one first-hand account of a little bit. I won't say it's a bait and switch, but it's another one of those super Black Friday deals that some of the details were lost in the fine print. I'm sure, though, that in those fine details, you'll see all the particulars about it. And actually, and I'll just name it. It was Target, right? There was just a little tomfoolery when it comes to the way the big special come do something totally for free thing that was kind of like, it's kind of bunk is the best way to put it. Nicest way. I just don't like Black Friday. I really don't. To which I'll say this. When it comes to Black Friday and what I've got, because I got what? I got one product, right? The one product that I've got is my books, and you can purchase it today for the same price you could purchase it any other day, because I'm not going to devalue my core product. That'd be silly, right? And that's why nobody else does either. They don't do that. And let's see. So let me get over here, find the stream, get things pinned. And then also in that process, I'll put up the link to my book that you can buy directly for me for the regular price of $20. But I will eat the shipping on it. So there's that. So, well, actually, no, I haven't adjusted it on the website. I had to adjust. I didn't. So guess what? There is a pseudo Black Friday price for right now to purchase direct from me the book, Toys or Totems, for the incredibly low price of $15, which includes shipping. Where am I at? I'm streaming, but I don't see me. That's okay. It's not going to break my heart. Oh, there I am. Okay, so first off, let's pin that up there to the top. But if you are somebody out there who is hosting a Black Friday sale, hey, put your link in there so we know. But I hope that you'll go beyond just that and just have a fantastic post-Thanksgiving shopping, kicking off the official shopping season weekend for your business, goods, or services. I really do. I really, really do. And I just hope folks don't blow all their pennies on gimmicks that will probably let them down and lead to broken hearts. I would hate that. I truly would. But yeah, my book, link's in there. I forgot to change it on the one shopping thing I've got built. So $15 shipped. There you go. Regularly it's 20 now because I had to make some adjustments due to life and costs and whatever. So, but it's that. But enough of that. It's fine. It's fine. It's Friday after Thanksgiving, which leaves for what has been a good week, a very good week. But this Thanksgiving week, the holiday week thing, so many things just seem to just get totally wonky. Because a lot of folks are going to be off Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, except, of course, folks who are having to work Black Friday for all these incredible deals. But all that said, though, it's been kind of a wild and wacky week. The inability to see day before yesterday, Wednesday, kooky, man. But it didn't keep the old brain box from rolling around some ideas. I thought I'd share some of those with you. If you know me, you paid any attention, I love doing printable things, right? I love print media because I still like the physical. And it was cool. Last night, actually, very early this morning, I haven't had a whole lot of sleep, so if I seem extra goofy, now you know why. But I found a tutorial found me on the YouTube that I thought was a fantastic way for some marketing material, right? Dig it. One piece of paper, right? Now, I don't know how well you can see my scratch on there, but one piece of paper that you magically turn into an 8-page little mini zine. And that's like super cool. And the fold is the key. So you've got, once you do your layout, mark out your pages and everything, and then you do a slit in the two there. But anyway, but that's how you do your fold. And you're like totally maximizing what one single sheet of paper can do for you. And I find that fascinating. So I did just a little mock-up. What I'm going to do coming soon is I'm going to have like the first chapter of Toys or Totems inside of this little mini sampler that'll be in color. But that said, it's really awesome. I love doing things like this. Think a little outside of the box. Let's talk about whatever it is you do. What do you do? I don't know. You'd have to tell me. But the things that you do can easily be converted into something like that that goes beyond a simple business card, which are boring and most people never hold on to, right? And if they do, they just I myself don't. I've got a stack of business cards that I'm eventually going to do something with, right? Right. So, and then rack cards and things like that. They got to have some value to them. So I find something like this that allows for one sheet of paper to become something more that actually has lasting value and worth. Again, we're going back into what? Evergreen content. And you can do a lot, but you could also do one shots because, again, you're talking about something that's very easy to design, print off at very low cost, and get maximum value. Because, see, like with this sample chapter of Toys or Totems, what's cool is that the way the thing prints out, it gives you the opportunity to do like a poster where the blank is. See, that could totally be like an infographic poster type thing. Yeah, I may work on a tutorial for some of these things if you show an interest, just to kind of show you how you do it. Or you can look it up on the internet. I don't remember, or on YouTube. I don't remember what it was called though, but it was just how to make a mini zine, I guess. But it just showed up in my timeline because obviously I'm obsessed with marketing and promotion products because I am. To which also, as you're doing this Black Friday thing, one Black Friday sale I will encourage you to consider is Bamboo Labs. Bamboo Labs, they make 3D printers and filament and everything that goes along with it, right? That's what you might hear humming in the background, depending on how well my Digimini is working. But it's an amazing machine. It is. And for now, the one I have is an X1C, the X1 Carbon, and I love it. Absolutely love it. But there are different ones that they have, different cost-wise and everything, and they've got like their I don't want to call it low end because it's not. It's still great, but it's like a what's called a bed slinger where it's not enclosed. It just has the bed that goes back and forth. Anyway, but those are like super affordable right now, and it's a quality machine. Okay, and then they've also released their P2S model, which for all intents and purposes is an upgrade from the one I've got, and it's more affordable purchase wise. So that said, you may want to look into that because I've had so much fun and the ability to be able to create things for marketing and promotional purposes in-house makes me a very happy guy. And also being able to prototype my own stuff just for the sake of it. Whether it ever sees the light of day, I don't know if it will or if it won't. But I do know that I can do it. And it's the most amazing, freeing way to like do these type of things as a creator, as a business owner, whatever it is that you happen to do. Because again, it's like, okay, it's a matter of perspective, I guess, because I have wanted for years and years and years now to be able to develop some toys associated with some of the things that I've created. One being the case files of the Ozarks Ghost Research Society that we did back in 2008 and 2009, right? And I created a character called Odie the Ogre and his little pal Zipper. And I've always wanted to see him as an action figure because that's my gig, right? But I wanted to see it. Well, now, thanks to what's happening with the technology, both 3D printing and the AI, again, it's either a tool or a weapon. It's depending on what you do with it. Me personally, I use it as a tool and I just love it. Odie the Ogre, let me find. Okay, now this is like an an older iteration to where I had done like the fabric transfer thing, and then Caitlin turned it into like one of the little plushy pillow things, just to see what that would look like, and that was fun, right? Now Odie I designed again in 2008. I won't go into the whole backstory, but he was a fun creation with his little buddy Zipper, my little Mickey Mouse, right? So anyway, and for years I was wanting to develop him into like a little figurine, preferably an articulated figure, because that's more fun. So, and I've talked to people, some manufacturers and things, and it just never was possible cost wise. It just wasn't. I mean, minimum unit runs and all these other things, you were looking at, thousands of bucks. And it's like, I mean, this is a passion project. This is not a business thing. It would be fun for folks who enjoyed the show back then, or if we did a revamp, to bring something like that back. But I'm not delusional to think that it would be that much of a mass market thing. Maybe it could be. I don't know. I'm not going to say no, but no. But anyway, but thanks to what we've done with technology now, I was able to go from this two-dimensional art piece, and with Bamboo Labs Maker World platform, I was able to take that same simple 2D image, and then looky there. I was able to create, or it created for me, a three-dimensional object. That particular color doesn't come out well. I slapped a little paint on this one just because I wanted to see. But looky there. Just that simple, just that easy. And again, it's like, with the exception of not painting it yet, there you go. And these are the things you can do from the comforts of your own home in a very, very, very inexpensive way. Because, dig this, now the printer is going to cost you money, right? Of course. The filament to make the stuff, money, yes. But it's a worthwhile investment because you're still looking at literally pennies, half a pennies on the dollar when it comes to prototyping what it used to be. And all of that said, the software itself now is just getting free. Like the Maker World platform with Bamboo Labs, totally free. And there's thousands and thousands of models are out there that people have created, right? That you could download totally for free. There's other ones that you can pay on cults3d.com or CG Trader. All worth it. Totally worth it. Never forget, you buy a 3D model, the model file itself, you can print as many as you want until, I guess, you lose the file or something. I don't know, but you can just keep on going forever. So it's a great investment in that. But then, like the AI software that Bamboo offers in their Maker Lab, Maker World place, there are credits involved. But now I had stacked some up. I'm not exactly sure how I did. I don't know if that came with my initial purchase or some of the interactions I've done with other creators and stuff. But either way, I had credits to use. And as such, I've been playing with that. And the credit usage is actually very low. No, I don't think I'm going to go through all that right now, but I will show you something I played with. Okay. Now, I've shared this out in some of the groups that I'm in that actually share my interests more so than you. But we're having coffee. Take a sip. And talking about things I find interesting that you might find interesting and that you may have had a thought about that you just didn't know anything more about, or it was scary or whatever. Don't be scared of this stuff. You really can't break it. It's that good now. But anyway, all right, now what we have here, this is the Incredible Hulk. This particular piece was made, I do believe, like 74, right, when it was originally released. And so he's in the 8-inch scale with the rubber bands and all that. Anyway, well, I found an image. Well, I'd seen that the Bamboo Labs platform has the AI, well, the image to model. And I'm like, I've tried a lot of these things over the years now. I've like had the scanner. Well, it's not even a scanner. It's your phone can do this. It was a great program, but it was complicated and it was clunky to do, to be able to get all the pictures you would need around in a dome around an item for it to then process the pictures and turn it into a 3D model. It was okay, but it was difficult and it was cumbersome. So now, though, the AI has really replaced the need for that, because now with a single image, one picture, it will do things like this. All right, now I showed you the original. And again, I found a picture online. I didn't even have to take the picture, for God's sake. But, and then voila. There he is in mini form. It's not exact. It's not like perfect one-to-one, but it's pretty darn cool, right? And the best thing about 3D printing, which I find interesting, and pretty much all of the software that's out there that you use to make these models ready to print, you can scale things to any size you want. So like if you need something small, as long as your printer can handle it, you can do small. If you need something bigger, you can do bigger. It's very simple, but I see so many people having problems. And I don't know if it's just dumb luck on my part, or they're complicating it. I don't know. It's one or the other. But I do know that things are possible. And this was fun. I'll go side by side with you just so you can see. Again, an image of this one, a 3D model was created that I was able to print. Now, I scaled this one up just a little bit because he should be, because this fella here is actually always small and it's funny. It makes the Incredible Hulk funny. But yeah, so the ability to do this, mind you, it doesn't have the articulation points because my goal for 2026 is to really, in my free time, to learn more about computer-aided drafting and design and things like that. And I will, to really take these things to the next level. Let me put my stuff away. So anyway, if you're thinking about something for Christmas that will have more legs than just another pair of socks, you might really want to, if this could be the greatest time for you to get into 3D printing. I firmly believe this isn't just a nerd thing, man. This is, I'll make a prediction for you. In the next few years, there will be a form of a 3D printer in everyone's home because its usefulness is really going to go off the charts. Because I'm making the toy stuff, right? But I also make functional things, and you can also do. Well, you can design replacement parts, and I guarantee you, there's going to come a time when there comes to the big companies out there. Say you buy a refrigerator, right? At this point, it would be completely plausible and feasible if you have a busted part on your washing machine, especially like any of the plastic ones, that you would be able to get a replacement part as a 3D file and print the thing yourself. How cool is that? Now, that's not wanting to just swing on brick and mortars and retails, but they're not there. And you can't keep every little piece in stock, no matter what. It's not going to happen. So, but to have the ability to get a 3D model that can fix something right then and there in the span of just worst case scenario, you got a couple hours to wait after you hit the button. Hello? It's an amazing time in which we live. So, but anyway, I put that, but just Bamboo Labs, they do have a great sale price going on with their Black Friday gimmick, but it's worth it. It really is. And I highly recommend that one. There's others I'm sure are just as good, maybe even better. But the success I've had with this machine, off the charts. Absolutely off the charts. Because I've been doing this 3D printing thing since 2020, and watching the evolution of the tech is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So there's all that, and like I say, I have no skin in the game whatsoever. I don't have an affiliate account. I'm not selling products directly to the public. Nothing like that. They didn't ask me to even say anything. I'm just telling you, it's good enough. I'm willing to talk about it. 18 minutes into the 8 o'clock hour, 30 degrees out there, and lots of sunshine. It is so misleading because there's a frost on the ground. I went out with Jack the Wonder Dog, and he was enjoying it for some weird reason. I was okay with it, but man, it was chilly out there. But it is Friday, and we've made it to episode 29, actually. That's another kind of a very big deal, as now the habit is completely formed. 8 o'clock every morning, I'm going to be here with you. And we're going to be adding more stuff. Maybe. I don't know. This is about coffee and waking up and just kind of chatting about things. And then as we see what happens with the engagement and the interactions, and we'll see what we do. Trying to see here. Hey, there's Jamie. And Jamie, good morning, buddy. Big old love. Yeah, there we go. Hold on. Yeah. And there we go. Cool. So anyway, all that said, we're just going to have some fun. I am going to develop out, though. I pretty much come to terms that I need to do this from my whole 3-pillar perspective, that, and most of it's already in play. Well, no, it's not. Excuse me. The 3 pillars are one product, one service, one project. And the product, of course, is, say it with me, Toys or Totems, the book. I am going to be producing an audio version, though. The audiobook version, I think, is important, really. And what's cool, though, is with the audiobook, I've learned now that I can attach like PDF pages for like the journal pages that you see in the book. And I think, because otherwise it'd be kind of silly. That was one of the hiccups and hangups I was having about just doing an audiobook, where the book itself does more than that. right? I mean, it's a book, but it's an interactive book to where I really want you to pick up a pen and write and think and flow. Because I promise you, it's good for you. It really is. Um, yeah. So there's that. That's coming, and then I'm going to do individual podcasts for all three pillars: the book, the service, which is the evergreen content. In that, I'd like to just let me just tell you, I don't know. I don't profess to know everything. I am no guru, but I can tell you, I've been around long enough to observe writing on the wall of what's in play and most likely going to be the way for a long while. The internet, if you hadn't noticed, ain't going anywhere. Social media, not going anywhere. Any of the platforms. I mean, some of them may fold, maybe, possibly, but in the long term, all of the main word of mouth things that happen are going to be by way of the internet and social media. That's a lock. Traditional media, God love you, but you're dead in the water, man. You'll do great in your niche right there where you are, and that's fantastic. And you should service your local communities because you're still incredibly valuable. But listeners and viewers, they've just changed. They don't do that. It's not part of their day to day anymore. Yes, some will say, "Well, I listen every morning." Okay, great. I'm glad you do. Now get the rest of your community to do the same, and then you can bring back traditional media. But that's a fight. But it can be done. Don't get me wrong. If you give something someone wants to listen to, read, or see, they will absolutely tune in. I have no doubt in my mind about that. But to just do that, and even with the advancements in technology, which makes things so much more affordable, it's still a time investment that it's just not feasible now. It's just not, and that breaks my heart, but it's true. So anyway, that said, um, going to break out a new thing, a podcast thing for each one, and with the evergreen content, I'm telling you, if you are in business or you have an organization or a hobby group, and you are wanting to just stay connected, stay engaged with the people who already love you, create content for them that has long lasting legs. Now, like this podcast itself, no, doesn't really. I wouldn't call this evergreen, other than it can give someone an opportunity in the future to go back and check me. You know, it's like, well, now Jim is saying this. Well, how long has he been saying this? Did he flip flop? Did he whip flop? Well, you can go back and look. That archive will be until one of the platforms is deleted or something. But me, I'm just going to leave it there. Facebook does. I think they do a rotation to where they like dump out every 30 days, which is fine. Better than just deleting everything at once, huh? Facebook. But anyway, that said, I want to encourage you to think along that line. Again, I love to teach more than to perform. Don't get me wrong, I am offering a service when it comes to that, but it's very select. And that's not to be pompous or rude or better than thou or anything like that. It's just there's only so many hours in a day that I can do things, but I can record teaching, and then you got it forever. As long as, again, it doesn't get deleted by miscellaneous platforms. So I'll put more emphasis on that. I will be continuing offering the service in very select circles. That'll make more sense coming very soon. But it all ties into other things too. Now, the project aspect of things, now this is going to be interesting because with the virtual stump and the way that it is evolving naturally, organically, by itself. Again, the virtual stump platform that you find at 72601life.com/virtual stump is free. It's free for you, the viewer. It's free for the candidates to connect with you. Okay. The only thing we have to do is just meet up in the middle to where we can do a quick recording and I can put it together and put it out there. However, there's some things that are rolling around that may expand a little bit more. Why I say that? Well, last Monday, or this past Monday, I was out at Western Sizzlin at the Boone County Republican Committee's meeting, and a whole lot of the candidates were there, specifically the fellows who are running for District 5 for the state representative spot, right? That said, as we're sitting there and they're taking questions, and the old reporter in me was just chomping at the bit. I wanted to have a conversation and a discussion with these folks because they all brought to the table some very good points, some very interesting ideas, some straight up facts that needed to be talked about. That you, my dear watcher, reader, listener, uh, probably are not privy to, because where do you get your news and information? And most of this stuff could be considered dry when it's not, but there's just so much other noise that to actually tune into that signal is hard to do. So I don't know. I'm kind of pondering leaning into that. However, the hang up, I guess you would say, is I want to make sure that in everything that I do in that regard, I want to maintain an unbiased position because I do not care to responsibly. I don't care to influence your thoughts and your vote, other than get educated and do vote. Make your own choice. That's for you to figure out. And it's on any and all candidates and measures and things like that for them to do their work in getting to you, right? It's just it's a personal thing, it's an ethical thing for me that I have to be very careful with that for myself because I do not care to influence how you vote. I just want you to vote. I want you to get educated and then vote. And the virtual stump is the way that I know that's like the most middle of the road balanced thing I could ever do. And that's why it exists. So that said, but I'm wanting to do something a little bit more. There's even been, a little bit of floating talk about hosting like a forum or a debate or something like that. And that might happen possibly. But there's a little bit more coordination in that I don't mind investing the time in, but I just want to make sure that it's done well. And if I'm doing anything with it, I want to make sure it's done well and done right, and beneficial for all. So I don't know. We're kicking that around, but that's the thing. It's like moving in through the rest of the year and then all for 2026. I'm going to put a lot more emphasis on a lot of those type of things because at my core, I love to inform and entertain. And I'm hoping that the information that I'm informing with can be presented in a way that's entertaining enough for you to care and pay a little attention to, because I try my best not to be too niche about stuff. Um, when it needs to be, that's why I'm going to build out the other things, because the niche things that are niche, that doesn't have, they get in the way of just having coffee talk and making fun of people. They just need to be separate. Maybe if you find something I say interesting, if I drop a note, you'll be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe I will look at that. I never thought of that before. Cool, and check it out. You have a way to look without it just gumming up the works. Now, here's the other thing. I'm like, nah, I told you I've not had hardly any sleep, so I'm a little goofier than normal. But here's another thing that's amazing about what's happening with the AI tech when it comes to taking a 2D image and turning it into a 3D image for using in modeling for 3D printing, and also other for like game insertion and stuff like that. Dig this. Now, like I told you, this here started as just a 2D image that I found online. Just the front. One picture. What blows me away though, and this has come so far, if you haven't followed the tech, you may not appreciate what this really means. Or maybe you do once you think about, oh my God, it can do that. Yeah, it can. All right, here's the front. In and of itself, being a 3-dimensional thing from a 2-dimensional thing is pretty cool, right? But dig this though. It's the backside that there was no image of. And you'll see there are pockets. Pockets. It finishes out what should logically be on the backside of that 2-dimensional image, like the rest of the belt, the hair on the back of the head, the hairline on the back of the head. That is flat out amazing and a little creepy too. But now, when it comes to that, I mean, that raises so many questions, because with that technology as it is right now, only going to improve. But right now, intellectual property stuff, you are screwed. I hate to tell you that, but you are, because this Hulk, which is based off of a toy made in, say, 1974, And this was just one shot with no opportunity for like tweaking, which can. Again, I get to practice in computer aided drafting and modeling. I can do more tweaking at that point, which I can do that now, but I was going to practice more. Point is, it's like in the creator space, it's going to get tougher and tougher for the organic creators, but that does not mean to stop. Utilize the tools, see how they work, understand how they work, and see how they can benefit you, because they're not going away. But also copyright protections and things like that, I don't believe it's going to be able to truly be enforceable, because right now it's already not, right? It's like, if you look at like some of like we'll throw them under the bus. You look at like some Temu products, right? Most of those things either fell off the back of a truck coming from a warehouse in China, or it's a blatant ripoff, knockoff, pirated copy of something that they can produce super cheap, blast out onto the market online, and then by the time the IP holder catches wind of it, it can just go away, or maybe you send them a cease and desist, because that's always going to be the first step. And they've made their money in the rush, man, because I've been trying to tell people this for years. Once upon a time ago, when you would do a promotion, there was a 2-week window that you worked in, right? You wanted to go 2 weeks prior to the event to really start pushing. And again, this is traditional media, because if you go too far out, people will forget. So if you went like 4 weeks to start a promotion, that's too far, always has been. But you go 2 weeks before the event to start doing your push for it, you're in good territory. Well, now it could go the other way, to where you want to start talking about something like a month in advance, mainly because you got to get some kind of momentum from somewhere at some point. But that may still kind of be a moot point. But 2 weeks is still a good rule of thumb. However, once you launch, be it a book, be it a piece of music, be it a film, be it a TV show, whatever it is, if it's an intellectual property that comes in any digital form, and you're monetizing it and it pops, even if it doesn't, but if it pops, you can guarantee you're going to be bootlegged within 24 hours or less. Okay, and then if it has real lasting power, you're all bets are off. I mean, that's where we are. But again, this is not to dissuade you at all in being a creator who wants to either make a little money or make a living off of your creations. Keep creating. Do not let them take that away because of money. Don't do it. It's a mistake, because to stifle it for, well, if that can already do that, then I shouldn't do it at all. No, that's dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb. It's sort of like people, well, okay, pull out another genre real quick. Auto mechanics, right? All right, well, there's already 1,001 how to fix a carburetor. Both things that don't matter anymore. But say you have the knowledge and the skill, and you want to write a book about your method and your style and how you do it. Well, there's already 100 of them out there and on the shelves, right? Well, but here's the thing. They're not yours. They're not your perspective. They're not your special touch, your special voice. And your special touch or voice could be the thing that actually clicks for someone else who is in your shoes. Hence, with my book, I keep saying, if this book does nothing else but inspire you to write a book yourself, then I win. Because that's what I want from it. That's my true expectation. I do, yes, want to reach 11,000 readers, preferably more. However, I had to set a number, so I got something to kind of watch. But 11,000 readers. But more importantly, if those 11,000 readers get something out of that book, it's going to be more than just that Jungian insight on why we do what we do and surrounding ourselves with stuff. But also, it'll tap into a part of you that is laying dormant and waiting to really express itself, because it got tamped down by society and the need to pay rent to stay on the planet comfortably, right? Oh, don't slap me down when I'm preaching good. I gotta check on Alicia real quick. She sent me a text. Yeah, her and her bestie Christy and Caitlin and Shelby, they went out doing things with this whole thing this morning. And that's where I learned about a little bit of bait and switch that was happening with Target. You dirty dogs. But I just think it was great they went on an adventure together. That's really what this was all about. It wasn't even about the shopping experience. It was about those four girls getting out and having fun. So in that, I give Black Friday a huge pass. But at the same time, being mindful of they are doing their best to manipulate you into giving you their money, giving them your money. Fine, capitalism, all about it, but just be ethical about it. Okay. But they're doing well. Actually, she showed me something that she saw that was really cool, and I don't know. Everybody do your thing. Oh no, I'm just still waking up. My goodness gracious, Deborah, if you're watching the show, thank you for commenting on Flip, and very good morning. Big old heart right there. But I'm curious if you see this later in the day and you're like, hey, I went Black Friday in this morning, that's why I didn't watch your show, Jim. And I'll be like, I get it. It was in your pocket. You could have turned it on anyway. No limitations. This broadcast around the world, but that's fine. I know you don't. I know you care. Anyway, I don't know. Like I said, that's just kind of my Black Friday rant this morning, doing what I think to be interesting and fun things, and hopefully encouraging you to think a little outside of the box on the things that you can do too. And again, 3D printing, again, I'm telling you, in the next 3 years, I'll lock it in that much. 3 years, and that's really too far out, honestly. But within 3 years, every single home in America should have a 3D printer in it, or you're going to have a need for it because of other products that you're going to purchase. That technology will be incorporated in. And call me crazy all you want, but I'm just telling you, the evolution of the consumer-based product in that space of 3D printing, from what I've seen in 2020 to where we are right now, is mind-blowing. I can only imagine what it'll look like in 3 years. I mean, just depending on the tech itself. I mean, we could get to the point where what can take quite a few hours to print could get to the point where the technology gets etched out to where it could be minutes. And that is absolutely possible. How do I know? Because, like I just said, I'm broadcasting to the whole planet. If there's an internet connection and there is a device that's picking up and translating these ones and zeros, I'm broadcasting around the world instantaneously with very little, if any, delay. Whoa. Wow. So, yeah, things are going to keep changing. You got to keep learning. Don't be afraid of it, because you survived everything else that's came. I know in the past 50 years that I've been on the planet, the evolution of things. It's funny. I ran out last night to get gas, so Alicia wouldn't have to mess with that this morning. And I was thinking in regards to like the way these boxes allow us to talk to each other on the other side of the planet instantaneously. And I was thinking about like with doing radio remotes, like when a radio station will go out to a location and broadcast live and all that, how much of a pain in the ass that was. Um, Seriously, I enjoyed doing the events, but I hated doing the setup and I hated doing the teardown, because the main like tool that you had, some stations got fancy and had little talk boxes, that the little phone boxes you could call in on and plug your phone in, yay, or a phone line. But those weren't as common as one would think, and that was really. And this is before cell phones. You had the brick phones, but to use them was just not cost effective because you got charged by the minute. Now it's crazy, right? But anyway, what you would have would be a mini transmitter called a Marty, and then you still had to have an antenna to plug the transmitter in to shoot back to the station that had the receiver that would then pull it through the board and broadcast it out, right? And I hated dealing with that. It was always such a pain, man. There was only one station I worked for that actually had a good system with it. Most of them would just have like a tripod type thing that you'd stick the antenna on and raise the mast up, and then you'd have to twist and turn until the station got a good signal from you. I hated that. But one actually had it mounted on the side of the station vehicle, and then you would just crank and raise the mast up, and it made it a lot easier. But it still sucked, and I loathed doing it. I love doing the event, but I hated setup, I hated tear down. But now, you don't need that at all. Not at all. The only thing you need that stuff for now is scrap metal, recycle, right? And just thinking how far we've come, because that was, 30 years, less than 30 years ago, really. Mind blowing. So if nothing else, if I can help you enjoy your coffee of a morning, throw away the loneliness, at least for a little bit, and then also learn something along the way or think about it in a different manner than you might be thinking about it, because people talking about things they really don't know anything about. And again, I don't know it all, and I'm very happy I don't. Number one, I don't want to know it all. Number two, I want to keep learning every single day. From something as the most modern, incredible technology, push a button and poof, this comes out of thin air, or something that's just fun, simple, old school. Because I mean, you could even hand draw this thing. But again, once again, let me show you. I love this. One simple piece of paper you turn into an 8-page mini zine that can have a lot of lasting value for your product, your service, your hobby, whatever. And it's very, very simple. Just that simple. I love that. I love sharing those things because, again, we still want physical, folks. I appreciate the technology, the digital, and the ether. But the physical, now for this old boy, nothing's going to change in that. Until they completely perfect the matrix system that we're plugged into and they 100% beam everything into our head. Because don't forget, that's what we are. Your fingers don't really feel. They pick up electrical pulses that get sent to your brain. They're translated as feeling. But true. All your senses work that way. In case you didn't know. But all that said, kids, it's 8:41. It is Friday, Black Friday, the 28th of November. Harrison, you got a Christmas parade coming up on Monday. Normally starts when the sun goes down and whenever they get that lined out. But anyway, so that's Monday. I'm not sure about other areas around here. Check your Facebook, they'll tell you. My book, again, for Black Friday by accident, through the link in the comments, you can get for $15 shipped. Otherwise, it is $20 on Amazon and also in the wild with me. And once we get through today, I'll adjust that out to where it's back to the 20 it's supposed to be. Sorry, shipping ain't cheap and costs and blah, blah. But I promise you, you'll get more than $20 out of it. Guaranteed. And there's also going to be the ebook version always there for $2.99. I'm just going to leave it at that because I think that's a good, fair price. And it's good. And so if I could get everybody on the planet to buy it, you know what I'd be? In the same neighborhood with Elon Musk, baby. That's right. And I find out his hairdo, so I won't have to comb my hair with a hat ever again. Just saying. It's true. What else? Oh, yeah, and then the audiobook. I'm definitely going to have the audiobook maybe by Christmas. I think that'll be fun. I've ran through it a couple times, but it's just not where I want it to be yet. So I'm going to keep playing with it. Anyway, 8:42, Black Friday, November the 28th, 2025. If you're out and about, please be careful out there. Don't be dumb, and make sure you're really getting a good deal by way of value. Quality over quantity, man. Don't forget that. Enjoy one more sip with me, and then we're going to shut this thing down, and I'm going to take a nap because I can. You know who that's for? Alicia. You're driving, so you can't. Anyway, guys, have a great one. I hope you enjoy all the rest of the day. And we'll do it again tomorrow at 8 a.m. Because why? I'm addicted to your face.